Alright, fair use, fair use. This video is for educational purposes. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Alright, so shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great medicine and rule well. Salutation to the Akim, preaching the truth to the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Right. And the types of the lesson, as you can see, our revenge gonna be sweet. Right? And I have a clip here to play from a Jake who was pissed off.
That person's whole family. Let one of them get hung, I would murder that person's whole family and wouldn't even think and wouldn't even blink twice. Kids, babies, dogs, grandmothers, old people, every single person from your family existence would be no longer here if one of my brothers was lynched by one of them motherfuckers. God forbid my brother get killed by a police officer. Everybody in that cop's family is gonna die. Every single one, including the cop, in his lawyer, in the judge that won't give the conviction. I'm getting them all, and I'm gonna get away with it. And be on the run for the rest of my natural fucking life, enjoying the memory of those cowards begging me for their life while I put a pistol in their mouth and emptied the trigger and then pissed on them. I have no remorse. They gave us no remorse. They gave us no peace. Raping our women, raping our sisters, black women screaming to their lungs, "Ah! Stop!" White men laughing, having fun like it was some type of a game. 30 men on one woman, raping her in front of their kids, in front of their dead husband. You think I give a fuck about somebody's opinion? I didn't forget. I make sure I remind myself the fuck these motherfuckers be doing. I don't give a fuck about Gaza. I don't give a fuck about Israel, Palestine. Fuck all of them. This shit been going on in the ghetto for over 400 fucking years. You think I feel sorry to say I'm a god? You think I feel sorry to give somebody watching this that look like me hope? You think I care if Felix is unfucking comfortable? I don't give a fuck about Felix, and they didn't give a fuck about us. That's why they in power. And they murdered, raped, lied, and they still do it to this day. I'm not a victim, so I'm not gonna create a generation of victims. I'm gonna create a generation of black people that's with the shits. You ain't gonna just pull me over and think you gonna kill me. Let one of them get hung.
Yeah, I can. Right, and the lesson, what he's saying is actually true. You know, he going back into things like slavery. Right? Because a lot of our people forget slavery. You understand? And the so-called the Edomites, they put slavery in your history. You understand? Rub it in your face. Although they might not tell you the truth behind the slavery, they still put it in your face. Right? And the Lord put it in Deuteronomy 28:68 for us to understand that we are in slavery. Matter of fact, let me start with that. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. And read, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach." That's why they call us niggers. They call us whatever they feel like. And a curse, going back to what? Deuteronomy 28, from 15 on down. Right? Our people are cursed. They have a lot of curses on them. Slavery, a byword. They calling us any kind of name, even calling us black, because we not black. You understand? The amount of things they did unto us, all these curses. The scripture says they shall be the head and we will be the tail. And no man would redeem us, because Yahweh Shai is the one coming to redeem us. Right? So going back to our revenge will be sweet. Right? It says, "Thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments," which we are. Always have to pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that, when the natural resources and things that we are accustomed using from the ancient days to now are free. Continuing, this is according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which is our forefathers, it says, which departed from the Lord our power. So what you're telling you there is that you departed from the Lord, and this is why we have curses. You understand? This is why we go through what we go through. right? And a lot of people would disagree with this guy and his statements or his hatred. But what did King David say? There's the book of Psalms chapter 139. Right, I believe 22, 23. Right, 21. It says, do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? Am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee? Verse 22. I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. So even Jake, our people who wanna mochi and disregard the things that they did unto us, and says something like forgive and forget, we even hate them because they hate the Lord. They're not for the Lord, and the Lord getting ready to kill them, to get rid of them in the most gruesome way possible. You understand? The scripture say famine and death and all these things were reserved for the wicked. Right? They hated correction. And then after he asked the Lord, he said, Lord, search me, O Lord, O power, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Because we need to make it. We need to be a part of the elect. We need to have spiritual powers. You understand? We need these stuff to continue the walk. And this is how we're going to make it. Right? To continue the walk, we need the Lord always. We need that when we get that now, we could finally rest. You understand? The curse is being lifted. The revenge especially. But what did how shall I say? Alright? That was Romans 12 and 19. Right, it says, Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Right? So it say rather take place unto wrath. Have patience. Where the scripture also says, happy shall he be that, take it a little one and dash it against the stone. That's roughly paraphrasing the scripture, but that is what it is. Happy shall he be. Understanding the times where we heading into. Right? And when it says this, it is written, they're talking about Deuteronomy 32, I believe. And let's see. Two. Well, I could read from my. I'll read from 28, yes? Nah. It is very upper. I'll read from 27. Deuteronomy 32 and 27. It says, wait not that I fear the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord had not done all this. Right? This is the enemy. Verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end, but they're not wise. They fully believe what they done to us, and they take responsibility for it with pride. And scripture says pride were before destruction. So Esau is the prideful one. Scripture call him the most proud, and they are set for destruction. Right? So it's verse 30. It says, how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them and the Lord had shut them up? right? Which didn't happen. The Lord did not sell us, right? This is what they're watching and saying, all right, we have one up on them. And they believe that the Lord never coming back. So they try to keep us in that sin and try to put sin in everything. They create a sin vibration for our people. Continuing. It says, verse 32, verse 31. For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, right? And of fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Right? This is the learning from the heathens and how they operate. Right? It says verse 33, their wine is the potion of dragons and the cruel venom of asp. Right? Continuing, it says, it is not this laid up in store with me and sealed up among my treasures? For to me belongeth vengeance, and recompense their foot shall slide in due time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. So we living in that time. We Lord say vengeance belongeth unto him. Right? And this yappa, because this is going into a lot. But understanding that the vengeance is for the Lord, Yahweh Shai had to get a taste of that vengeance first. When he returns, the scripture says he will not return as a man. Right? He will not return as a man. He come back as a God. In his godly apparel and godly ambience with the rest of the hosts of heaven. You understand? This is how he coming. Right? So, this is why I got a precept to back that up. The book of Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 3. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Right? I will not meet thee as a man. I'm not coming back with no possible way you could just kill me. Right? The scriptures say, let me see if I get read. Alright, this is the book of 1 John chapter 3. I'll read from 1 because on the same topic, right? This 1 John 3 and 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, which is what? America. You understand? The Edomites. Daughter of the Chaldeans, the Edomites well. Daughter of Babylon, Edomites. Come and sit in the ground, there is no throne. Right? Going back to what the guy was saying in the video. What they did unto us, you don't care about what they did unto us. You understand? You don't care about what they... He only cares about what they did unto us, I mean. You don't care about them. And that's a yappa thing, having that perfect hatred. You understand? They might they could say what they want. That's the whole reason why I put up a disclaimer in the beginning of the video. Because they hate when the truth come out and hit them in the face. They're always ready to change it and slap it out. You understand? Verse 2. It says, beloved, now are we the sons of power, and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be. Meaning you can't see it now what we're going to be. Or it says, but we know that when he shall appear, which is Yahweh Shai, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. You understand? Glorious apparel, powerful. Scripture say everything that he turned to, under him was shaking. Mountains. The Lord coming back with bare aura. You understand? And ain't no way you're gonna escape. Right? When you read Sirach 36, They tell you about turning the fear on them, these nations, because these nations don't have the fear of Yahweh wash me out shine on them. They stand bold. You understand? After all that they did, the scripture say what nation? Let me get that real quick. All the way down to the Maccabees. It says, this first Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 10. And it reads, what nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? You understand? Which nation? All nations had a part in putting Israel in slavery. All of them. Who built the boats? So who funded the first slave trade, which going back to the sub-Saharan slave trade, even before the Atlantic slave trade. You know? Transatlantic slave trade. There was the sub-Saharan, which was fully funded by the Arabs. You know? So they all have a piece of riches off of the backs of the slave. And the atrocious things that went on during slavery, they all had a part in it. Esau probably did the worst. You understand? Esau probably did the worst. But all of them have to pay. And Esau had to pay the most. Because after his service, which scripture talk about continual employment, after his service, that is the day. We're going to fire that. Literally. Right? So let me get something here. Alright, Numbers 33 and 35. Well, it's 35 and 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, which what they already did. They defile the land with blood, killing out thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of jigs, you know, defiling the land, and they put it in history. What they did, they take a picture by the corpse pile. This is what they did. They take a picture by the corpse pile. They take a picture by the lynching. They did all these things, proudful, right? So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed for the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Now, if the Lord is saying something like this, and you all believe that it's all your ancestors are the ones who did the dirty work, right? You are your ancestors. Come back here to face judgment, right? Or for your blood to be shed, because it says it cannot be cleansed. It cannot be cleansed of that blood that is shed, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the Edomites shed a lot of blood. The Edomites going to pay. Thus say the Lord. You understand? And this is just how it's going to go. Right? And another precept come to mind as well. Let's see if I get that. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 5. This is Revelation 18 and 5, and it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and power hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double, according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. So this is their slavery. Right? What it did unto us, it was saying to double it. Double unto her double. And all the coons, all the jigs who doesn't think it's fair, the scriptures say do hand joining hand, that sentence is not going to not be pushed. Just roughly paraphrasing, that sentence is going to be declared and presented before your eyes. The Lord not going to just let slavery happen and they forgive and forget. The Lord is burning a fire within us. You understand? To have that hatred, because it's a reminder of who we are and who they are. Just like the scripture saying, never trust thine enemy. It's the same thing. They keep reminding us who they are. George Floyd couldn't breathe. You know what? Let me press hard on him. You know? This is just the mind of the Edomite. You understand? The mind of the Edomites are death, destruction. They don't do anything unless they cause some to fall. You know? All these precepts come to mind. But these fucking Edomites have a rude awakening. Come and sit on the ground. There is no throne. The scripture says, drink, drunk, spew, fall, and rise no more. That's what the scripture says. And rise no more. And build no more cities and none of these things. You had a part to play and you played it. Now the Lord is done with you. Time for slavery. So Lord willing, this was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kakodash, the ones the elders and apostles of great medicine and rule well. Salutation to Yaki and preaching his truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. Shalom.